Okay. Hey, Aaron. Oh, that sucks. Stole humanity. Okay. Thanks for coming out, everybody. All right. So, yesterday, Former CIA Director John Brennan was interviewed by John Durham, U.S. Attorney John Durham, who's been leading the Russiagate investigation for the last year and a half. Well, let me rephrase that. It was admitted that he was leading a Russiagate investigation already. They made it public a year and a half ago. I'll put it that way. And already, because right after Durham was done being interviewed, he comes out, he sends a spokesperson out to say, John Durham told my guy, John Brennan, he is not a target of this investigation. He's free in the clear. He's free as a bird. And this is spun because I'm pretty sure they've got everything they need at this point. That's why you bring in the top dog last. You got everybody else has talked that's going to talk at this point. And you've got all the evidence collected at this point. So basically the last thing Durham waited to do was to bring in the guy who started all this back in 2015. Bring him in for an interview and put him under oath. You know, you're under oath in these investigations. When they bring you in for an interview, they place you under oath. And so they're going to give Brennan a chance to give his version of what happened, what he did, what role he played in launching and sustaining the Russiagate hoax. And they get him on the record, under oath. And that becomes the official record. And you can be charged with perjury based on what you say under oath to investigators from the Department of Justice. Now, a lot of people, upon hearing what Brennan's spokesperson had to say, they immediately began freaking out. Let me give you an example right here. Sarah Carter put this up this morning. Durham clears Brennan in Russia probe aid claims. Okay, so it's nice she did that because she clarified this is what Brennan's people are saying. They're saying he's cleared by Durham. If you go to the website and scroll down, this is what it says. Earlier today, John Brennan was informed by U.S. Attorney Durham he is not a subject or a target of a criminal investigation, and that he is only a witness to events that are under review, said Nick Shapiro, a Brennan spokesperson at the end of the DOJ review. The interview was conducted at CIA headquarters and lasted 8 hours. Brennan welcomed the opportunity to answer Mr. Durham's questions related to a wide range of intelligence-related activities undertaken by CIA before the November 2016 presidential election, as well as the intelligence community assessment published in early January 2017. Brennan provided details on the efforts made by the intelligence community to understand and disrupt the actions taken by Russia to interfere in the 2016 election. Okay, that's enough. We need to hear from that. I hear about that. Okay. Brennan is now on the record. He acts like he went in there to tell these guys what's what. Of course, that's how a spokesperson is going to frame this. Brennan goes straight in there, and he's going to sit there and he's going to straighten these guys out. He's going to tell them what happened. He's going to set them straight about what he did. Back in 2015, 2016, he was running the CIA and how they handled the Russian threat. Okay, what they did about that, and that intelligence community assessment that we've heard so much about, his role in that. Okay. That's not what happened. Brennan did not, in fact, go straight in there to set these guys straight. No. He was there to be interviewed as part of an ongoing criminal probe into how a massive hoax got launched and sustained for more than 3 years, when there never was any evidence that Cardi Page or any other Trump associate was a Russian agent or was colluding with the Russian government during the 2016 election. And yet, despite the fact there was no evidence, a FISA warrant got issued. And not only got issued based on fake evidence, it got renewed 3 times. Okay? That's what he's there to talk about. Of course, Biden and Brennan and his spokesperson are going to say, well, he just went in there and I set these guys straight about what happened back in 2015 and 2016, because they got it all wrong. They don't understand how this went down. I set them straight. So that's how Brennan is going to sell what happened yesterday, okay? But he's not there for that. He's there to discuss how this massive Russiagate hoax was launched and sustained, how the idea managed to be created and spread for 3 years that Trump was in Putin's pocket, that Cardi Page was a Russian agent. Okay, and we now know from the very first indictment that Durham is returned. See, people are trying to downplay that Kleinsmith indictment. They don't understand what Durham is doing there. He's going right to the heart of the Russiagate hoax with that indictment, because he's going to demonstrate something, starting with Kleinsmith. Okay, what did Kleinsmith do? Kleinsmith authored an email where the CIA clearly said Cardi Page was their guy. Cardi Page was their intelligence source. Cardi Page was the guy that helped them bust up a Russian spy ring. Okay, so far from being a Russian agent, Cardi Page is a CIA guy, okay? And Kleinsmith took direct action to hide that evidence, to alter the CIA evidence from the FISA court. Because if Cardi Page is a good guy, if Cardi Page is on the side of the angel, then the entire justification for that warrant, what happens to it? He can't be a good guy. He can't be a CIA guy. He can't be. So they hid that from the FISA court. And they did it deliberately, and they did it with their eyes wide open. So they're doing 2 things simultaneously. On the one hand, they have all this evidence from the CIA that Cardi Page is their guy. They were told back in August 2016, Cardi Page was their guy, okay? And on the other hand, they have this bullshit evidence they're being given by paid Hillary Clinton political operative Christopher Steele that Cardi Page is a Russian agent. So they have both these things. CIA, he's our guy, he's a good guy. Christopher Steele, he's a dirty, rotten Russian agent, okay? They suppress one. They have to keep the FISA court from seeing that he's a CIA guy. They pump up the other, coming from the paid political operative of the Hillary Clinton campaign. So they're doing 2 things at once. They're suppressing real evidence, and they're promoting fake evidence. And hiding the CIA, the truth that the CIA told them about Cardi Page, that is key to the Russiagate hoax. They have to do it. Because the moment the FISA court becomes aware, hey, the CIA said this is their guy. He helped them bust up a Russian spy ring. He helped put a Russian spy in prison. Look up the Gennady Boyakov case, okay? He helped put a Russian spy in prison. But they can't let the FISA court see this, because if the FISA court's told that's a CIA guy, we're claiming that a CIA guy is a Russian agent. The court is going to take a closer look at the Steele evidence if they're told that. And what is the Steele evidence? What did we recently find out about all this Carter Page as a Russian agent evidence that's coming from Christopher Steele? You go back to the early days of this, when the Steele dossier first was published by BuzzFeed, and all these people were out there defending it, and they made Christopher Steele sound like James Bond, man. They made him sound like an intrepid super spy. You look back now, knowing everything we know, that's just comical. That's hilarious. And so we were told Steele is this awesome, intrepid former MI6 intelligence official, and he's got connections, man. He's got deep connections into the Kremlin from his spy days. He's got people that are there, highly placed Russian sources in Russia and the Kremlin. Okay, he's a serious guy, man. And so we heard all this for years, and then what happens? What does it turn out that his source is? His source is a low-level research associate at the Brookings Institute, some guy named Igor Danchenko. A guy, there's no record this guy's even been back to Russia for any length of time in over 20 years. Okay, so we find out that Steele is supposedly deeply placed source within the Kremlin from which he's supposedly getting all this intelligence, including, Carter Page is a Russian agent, and Michael Cohen was in Prague, and he was making these payoffs to the hackers. All the Steele information he's been getting, it's coming from a low-level research assistant in D.C. Let me fix my collar. That's annoying. Okay, there we go. All right. So, Steele turns out, all his evidence turns out to be fake, okay? It's fake evidence. So remember what they're doing. They're suppressing all the CIA stuff, and they're pumping up all the stuff they're getting from Steele to launch this hoax and then to sustain it. They hide the real evidence, and they keep presenting what they know is fake evidence. So that Kleinsmith indictment goes right to the heart of the hoax. If they knew from the start, from at least August 2016, Carter Page is a CIA guy, he's a good guy, then when they're applying for this warrant in October, 3 months later, they know exactly what they're doing. Nobody made a mistake here. Nobody was fooled. They knew they were taking a CIA asset and they were morphing him based on bullshit evidence into a Russian agent so they could get the spy warrant they wanted. This is what Durham's going to prove. And, I established in that last column that I wrote for Epoch. Let me post a link to that. I established in this column right here that Kleinsmith was far from the only one that knew the truth about Carter Page. It's right there in the Horowitz report from last December. That the FBI supervisory agent, they call that the FSA, the supervisory agent, Stephen Sarma, he knew the truth about Carter Page also. In fact, it could come out that the only copy of that CIA email that got doctored by Kleinsmith was the one particular copy that was being attached to that FISA warrant renewal in June 2017 and being sent to the FISA court to get that warrant renewed for the third time. He sent accurate copies to other people. And so what is Durham going to be able to prove? He's going to be able to prove there were many other people involved in this, maybe all of them, that knew the truth about Cody Page, and they knew their warrant was based on a fraud. They knew their warrant was based on suppressing the real truth of what the CIA said about this guy, and they were basing it on fake evidence they were getting from a paid political operative working for Hillary Clinton. I mean, you couldn't write a farce this good. This whole thing was a farce. And so Brennan's acting like he's, swaggering his way into the room to be interviewed about this hoax, about how this hoax got launched, and how they kept it going for so long. And 8 hours they questioned this guy under oath. I guarantee you, he perjured himself numerous times yesterday. Because that's why they wait to interview him last. They've got everybody else interviewed. They've got all the evidence collected. They've assessed it all. They pretty much know exactly what happened. Brennan's selling the idea that he's there to tell them things they don't know. Okay? He's trying to sell he's being brought in to help these guys, It's going to set them straight. And that's not it. That's Brennan putting a good spin on this. And so when he gets indicted later, he can say, oh, this is all political. They told me I was off the hook. They told me nothing was going to happen to me. I tried to help these guys. I tried to help these guys out. Look what they did. Oh, man, this hurts. Just exactly what he's going to do. Oh, God, I've been betrayed. They told me it was all fine. Now they've indicted me. Okay. So you see everybody melting down out there right now. Oh, my God, Durham sold this out. He's going to let Brennan what? Oh, gee. Because nobody knows how anything works. Everybody just, people out there looking for clicks. Going to put the worst possible spin on it. They're going to take Brennan's spin as the gospel truth. Keep in mind that first Klein-Smith indictment, the very first one, shows where Durham is going with this. He's going right to the heart of it. They knew the truth about Cody Page. But to advance their hoax, they had to hide that truth. And so they hid it, and they managed to keep it hidden for 3 years. And then the truth came out. And these guys left a documentary trail behind them, 10 miles wide and 100 miles deep. Durham is going to have no problem proving exactly who knew the truth about Cody Page and who hid that truth, while they were also taking fake evidence. And they knew this was fake. They knew this wasn't real. That they were taking from a political operative working for Hillary Clinton, and they used that to get a surveillance warrant and to get it renewed 3 times. So there's no secret where this is going. Okay, Klein-Smith is on record as having sent accurate copies of that CIA email to other FBI Crossfire Hurricane team members and to other members of the Mueller team. Why do you think Andrew Wiseman's out there trying to, all week long he's been trying to spin this. Oh, look, Kevin wasn't doing things sinister here. He sent accurate copies of that email to other people. He wasn't trying to hide anything. Yeah, okay, so that's the best possible spin you could give this. But you know what Durham's going to use going to do with that? What Durham's going to be able to prove? Because Kleinsmith sent the unaltered copies of that email to other people in the FBI and the Mueller team. He's going to be able to prove they knew that the whole basis for their warrant was bogus. He's going to be able to prove that. You knew. I have documentary evidence that says you knew Cardi Page was a good guy. And yet you persisted in selling this fiction that he was a Russian agent. You continued to get this warrant renewed 3 times, claiming he was a Russian agent when you knew it wasn't true. He's going to indict people for this. He indicted Kevin Kleinsmith for that. Hell yes, he's going to indict other people for that. Deliberately hiding evidence from the FISA court. Hell yes, you get indicted for that. So, this is just the start. This is just getting started. You know, that's why my Twitter handle right now is who's going to be lucky indicted number 2. If I had to bet my own money, it's Stephen Surma, the FBI agent, the supervisory agent, because it said right there in the Horowitz report last December, there were 6 things Surma got caught hiding from the FBI. And one of those things was that he knew the truth about Cardi Page being a CIA asset. He knew about that, and he didn't tell anybody. He certainly didn't tell the FISA court. He kept a lid on that. That is suppression of evidence. So there was a lot of things that these people were doing. You know, there was suppressing the CIA evidence and using the false evidence they were getting from Christopher Steele. Okay, they documented everything they were doing. That's why I've never really had a doubt that anybody's going to be indicted for this. They left too clear a paper trail. And we've only seen some of the evidence so far. There's a lot of evidence I haven't gone public with. So, as you watch people freak out, oh my God, Brennan's gonna walk. You know, just remember, this is Brennan telling his version of what happened yesterday. Brennan has a vested interest in getting people to believe that he's free and in the clear. All right. And he's acting like he went in there to set these investigators straight. He went in there to inform them of things that they didn't know. And he's doing them a favor. You know, he was appearing there as a favor to these guys. And what really happened is they got his ass under oath, and they got him on the record answering the questions they wanted to ask him. And I have no doubt that John Brennan perjured himself multiple times yesterday. And so when he sachets on out there and he had this book come out and say, you know, they didn't indict him, they told him they're not going to do anything to him, everything's just, you know, everything's fine in Brennan land. Right? This is political spin. This guy is guilty as sin, and he is a target. He's going to come out and tell you he's not a target. Hey, you ask Jim Comey right now, are you a target? You know, all these guys are going to spin this. I didn't do anything wrong. What, target me? Hell, for what? You know, that's all they're going to say. And then when they end up being indicted, they'll say, oh my God, this is political. I was led to believe that nothing was going to happen to me. They lied to me. You know, they're going to come out and do all this crap. So just keep that in mind. Brennan is a target. Brennan is the guy. I think he set a lot of this up back in 2015. I'm convinced he's the guy that brought Harper into this. And he's the one that set up Harper to do all of this stuff that happened, that transpired from beginning in 2015. Okay. Let's go over one other thing Stephen Surma did that relates to Harper, all right? I talk about this a lot. I don't see anybody else focusing on it, all right? Did you know the Steele dossier was Plan B? It was. They had to make the Steele dossier the basis for their surveillance warrant on the Trump campaign because Plan A didn't work. Now, you're probably asking yourself, what was Plan A? If the Steele was Plan B, what was Plan A? Well, I'll tell you. Plan A was Stephen Harper being far too clever by half. What the FBI Crossfire Hurricane team decided to do, starting in early summer, they would get themselves an OCONUS lure. That means outside continental United States lure. This is an intelligence asset that you bring in and you task them with making an approach to a target to make a fake offer of some type of intelligence to that target so that you can go after the target. So, or you can prove that this person is now, okay, let me back up a little bit. Okay, in a legitimate counterintelligence case, you use an OCONUS lure, you send it to somebody who is suspected of being a spy or a foreign agent, so they make an approach and they make an offer, and you see if that person responds to the offer. That's a legitimate counterintelligence case, okay? What they did here is they tried to set up a fake case. So they contract with Maltese professor Joseph Mifsud, and they target George Papadopoulos in London. And they send Mifsud to Papadopoulos to plant an offer of Russian help to the Trump campaign, the 2016 election. And to make it look good, they send a woman along with Mifsud in one of these meetings that he had with Papadopoulos, and Mifsud claims to Papadopoulos that this woman is Vladimir Putin's niece, and she really wasn't. I don't think that gets enough attention. So, an OCONUS lure is sent to plant a fake offer with George Papadopoulos. And then the idea was to have Stephen Harper make contact with Papadopoulos while he's secretly recording Papadopoulos, get Papadopoulos to repeat the offer from Mifsud and say that he had heard that offer of Russian help and he was considering acting on it. That would have made this a successful OCONUS lure. So they spent most of the summer attempting to pull this off. Once Mifsud had successfully made his approach and Mifsud had successfully communicated the offer to Papadopoulos, all that remained for the second half of this story was for Harper to get Papadopoulos on tape saying, yeah, a Russian agent approached me about, help from the Russian government, and I think I'll take him up on it. Yeah, I told somebody in the Trump campaign about this, and we're going to accept his help. Okay, his hope is they can get Papadopoulos to say this or something close to it secretly on tape. Okay, so Harper tries several times to get Papadopoulos to say this while he's recording him. And the problem is, not only will Papadopoulos not repeat the offer, but Harper tries to ask him a leading question. Such as, let's say the Russians approached you, and they offered to help the Trump campaign in the election. Would you consider accepting that help? He's resorting to asking these very leading questions. So he asked Papadopoulos this leading question, and Papadopoulos angrily blurts out, "That would be treason! What the hell are you talking about? Accept help from the Russian government? That would be treason." So, not only can he not get this guy to repeat the offer on tape, when he tries to ask a leading question, a hypothetical, would you accept help? The kid blurts out that would be treason. That's an exculpatory statement right there. That's called an exculpatory statement. So, crap. You know, the FBI guys listening to the tape where they crap. We can't only get him to. We not only cannot get him to repeat the offer, he's making exculpatory statements. These tapes are useless. And they were, man. They were useless. They wasted the whole summer on this. Into the fall. You know, and Halper wasn't the only one trying to record Papadopoulos, get him to repeat this offer. Alexander Downer, the Australian diplomat, he tried this too. He didn't have any better luck. As a matter of fact, he was so clumsy about how he did it, he immediately tipped Papadopoulos off that something was up. He went and reported that guy to the FBI. That's how clumsy it was. So the whole summer and into the fall they waste on this gambit, this strategy. Send a connoisseur to Papadopoulos, make a fake Russian offer, then get him to repeat it to our informants while they're recording it. And it didn't work. So now it's late September, and the election's fast approaching, and they finally go, crap, all right, look, this is not working. It's time to try something else. So they go to this Steele dossier. Okay, like, we have to use Steele dossier. We got to really be careful here because the guy is working for the Clinton campaign. Imagine how bad this is going to look if this gets out. He was working for the Clinton campaign. We took information from him that we're not going to vet because we're pretty sure where it came from. So we're not going to vet the information. We're just going to take it and use it in a FISA warrant. And the whole time they're doing this, with Papadopoulos, that's one issue. They're also setting Harper to try to record Carter Page, try to get him to say something incriminating. That didn't work either. So the interesting thing is, in September, when they decide they're going to have to use Steele to get the Steele dossier. See, this is why they picked Page and not Papadopoulos. Papadopoulos doesn't appear anywhere in the Steele dossier. Only Page does. They had info on Page in the dossier. Steele had sources talking to him about Carter Page. They weren't telling him anything about George Papadopoulos. So that's why, even though it was Papadopoulos that supposedly had the Russian agent approach him with a direct offer, they don't use that to try to get the warrant. No, they go to Carter Page because they're forced to use the Steele dossier. I sound a little more nasal than usual. My nose is completely blocked up right now, so you hear me sniffing a lot. Okay. So they go with the Steele dossier. Therefore, the surveillance warrant has to be on Carter Page. He's the one they picked to be the patsy. And the thing is, like I discussed, by the time they do this, they know the truth about Carter Page. They know this guy's a CIA agent. So when they make this decision, if they're going to go to the FISA court with a warrant application accusing this guy of being a Russian agent, they are 100% aware of what they're doing. They're going to have to fake a case that a CIA guy is really a Russian agent. So they got to hide the real evidence while they offer the court all of this fake evidence that Steele is supplying them with. And Surma, of course, knows all of this. Surma's a supervisory agent. he knows the truth about the exculpatory statements that Page and Papadopoulos made on those recordings, and he hid that from the court. He knew that Steele was a paid political flack for the Hillary Clinton campaign, and he hid that from the court. I mean, there's like in the Horowitz report, they go through 5 or 6 things he hid from the court. So anybody saying this is gonna stop with Kleinsmith. Kleinsmith's the lone fall guy. You didn't follow any of this Spygate stuff. That tells me right there, you have no idea what the evidence shows. Okay, so if I had to bet my own money about who's going to be lucky winner of the indictment number 2, I say Stephen Summer, the supervisory agent. So that's where things stand right now. We're just waiting to see what happens. We're waiting to see what happens next. Brennan being interviewed is the last step before Durham sits down and goes over everything he knows, catalogs it, compiles it, and makes the final decision about what indictments he's going to pursue. And so we just passed that Rubicon. And of course, Brennan's going to spend what just happened. He's going to spend it to try to make himself look good. He's going to spend it to make it look like, this is nothing. He's fine, He went in there to help these guys out, I'm reminded of that scene in Payback, that Mel Gibson movie where Mel Gibson is the criminal, and he's got this nemesis, that tries to rape his girlfriend. And he bursts into the room and he shoots the guy, and the guy's lying down there on the floor, shot, and he's trying to create some false teaming with Mel Gibson's character. Hey, I'll help you get into the building. I'll help you get in to see those guys so you can get your money. Ha ha ha! I'm gonna help you out. I'm gonna help you out, man. And Mel goes, you got a light? He's holding a cigarette, You got a light? The guy goes, no. And then Mel says, well, what good are you? And he takes the pillow and draws his gun and holds it over his face. And the guy slaps one time, no, wait, check my pockets. Boom. Great thing. Anyway, that's kind of like what it is with Brennan now. I'm going to help you out now. I'm going to fill you in. I'm just bursting with civic duty right now, okay? I'm going to come in and sit for an interview with you guys. And I'm going to help you out. I'm going to show you what really happened. I'm going to explain the facts of life to you guys. Okay? And that's not what this was, okay? Now, Brennan went in there because he wanted to see what kind of questions they asked him. He wants to know, he wants to get a handle on how much they know. And he would get that from the questions they asked him. 8 hours of questions. 8 hours is a long time. Okay? But what Brennan is trying to do there is he's trying to get a sense, how much do they know? So there's things that he's hoping they don't know. There's things he's hoping they haven't figured out. They haven't found any evidence for it. There's people he's hoping haven't flipped. So he's going to come in there and act like, I'm helping them out. But really, I need to find out what these guys know. I need to know how much they know. Because that's going to dictate what he does next. They come to him and they show him, okay, we're about to indict you. Here's what we have. You want to fight this, or do you want to deal? And he's going to have to make the decision at that point. That didn't happen yesterday, and of course they're trying to spin it that didn't happen yesterday. Oh, they didn't slap the cuffs on me right after they finished interviewing me. Oh, I'm in the clear. They're not going to charge me with anything. I'm not a target. It's all PR spin. So waited till the very last thing to do was interview this guy. And so I don't expect we'll have to wait much longer for any further developments. So Donald Trump promised us an exciting 8 weeks, and we're like at the beginning of week number 5. And I consider what Durham is doing, what Durham is about to do, is going to really stun the country. People are going to see. They've been wondering for 3 years now, is anybody going to be held accountable? Is anybody going to prison? Well, we already have our first indictment, and that indictment points right to the heart of the Russiagate fraud. They knew the truth about Cardi Page. They hid the truth about Cardi Page. And they knew that while they were hiding the truth about Cardi Page, the evidence they were presenting to claim Cardi Page was a Russian agent was fake. And they knew it was fake. And that's the heart of the Russiagate fraud. And that's where Durham is starting. All this other stuff is going to work its way backwards too, okay? You start with this one thread. They knew the truth about Cardi Page. They hid it. And they knew the truth about the Steele dossier. And who Steele was. They hid it. There's no mystery here, you know. We've all been able to see for over 2 years now what they did here. We're just waiting for the hammer to drop, you know. And there's a lot of people that say, oh, but they're not going to do anything before the election. They can't do anything before the election. Yeah, what does Barr keep saying? Barr keeps saying politics will play no role in this investigation. When it concludes, what it finds. Politics is not entering the picture. He said this repeatedly. People don't believe it. You know, even after Durham already dropped the first conviction, we already got one. The only question is, who's going to be number 2? And then number 3, and then number 4, and then number 5. I mean, we have a lot of people to choose from, but I'm pretty sure by the time this is over, with the exception of Obama and Clinton and Holder and Lynch, I think just about every single person up here, oh, and Biden, every single other person up here is going to get indicted. So buckle up, you know, gird your loins. We live in exciting times. There are a lot of people out there, you know, the same people that told you nothing was going to happen. Nobody was ever going to jail. Nobody would ever be indicted. You know, yeah, sure, they're still out there. They never went anywhere. And they haven't learned anything. So, you can't fix stupid. So I don't even try anymore. But I just wanted to do this live stream because I saw some people on Twitter freaking out because Brennan's saying nothing's happening to me. Haha. Durham gave me my get out of jail free card. Suck it, you losers. Okay, that's of course because that's exactly what Durham's going to do. So let's check back next week. Maybe next Saturday I'll do another stream. We'll check back and see what happened. Okay. So I want to thank everybody for coming out. Remember, you can read all my columns at Uncover DC, which isn't working. Oh, there it is. Okay. All my columns are at Uncover DC, and you can read any of them there if you missed them. And I also have a columnist page at the Epoch Times. Everything that you've missed, you can catch up right there. So, thanks for coming out and spending some of your Saturday afternoon with me. I'll see you all soon. Thank you, and God bless you, and God bless the United States.